on with another AMA with BSC Daily. My name is Dale. I hope that you guys can see me just fine. Again, if you have any technical issues with the stream, let me know, and I'll go ahead and trying to fix it immediately. But everything should be fine. We're here with all the projects. They're here in the back room waiting to get invited to the space. But yeah, it should be all right. Let me check my lightning real quick. Okay, we're good. And so thank you very much for your all of your support for being here. So today, welcome to our collaborative AMA between BSC Delhi and our esteemed guests, IO.net, AI Tech Script Network, and Sentinel. I mean, I will do a little bit of introduction about themselves in a little bit, but I mean, with like you don't have to be introduced about them. You already know who they are. They're really some of the biggest projects right now in the crypto space. Together, I believe combined, they are worth billions of dollars. And so we'll discuss right an important piece of blockchain technology that can potentially change the cloud services, right? The market that is currently worth about a few $100 billion in terms of and when it comes to projection, they could be worth trillions of dollars in the future. And so the topic of today is about DePIN. All right, decentralized physical infrastructure. For those of you who don't know what DePIN is, you can find this very quickly on Google, right? So go ahead, please, before the AMA. And so with blockchain technologies and DePIN, any user, right, any user can contribute, right, their computing power in a highly decentralized network to earn rewards. And vice versa, if you are a developer, for example, if you have any needs, right, to rent computing power, you can rent these high performance computing infrastructures that are affordable, right, that are secured for your needs. It could be machine learning, it could be rendering, it could be do some mathematical calculations, it even could be broadcasting. All right, very interesting. So we invited four major DePIN platforms over and hear their thoughts, their visions, and also their products about DePIN and why and what makes DePIN so important in the future and why we should care about it. And remember, real quick, we have $200 in USDT for rewards for the Binance listeners. So make sure to have a Binance account. I'm sorry, you saying that is it just me, or the video delays a bit than the sound? Okay, interesting. Let me in on that. Get on that real quick. Okay, so if you still have any issues, let me know. Okay. But yeah, we have $200 in rewards for you guys. So make sure to have a Binance account and follow all of the projects in here. Without further ado, let me just invite first of all IO.net. They have three guests over, and this AMA cannot be possible without them. Thank you so much. And so Tori Green, the CEO, Gaurav Sharma, and Bill Wang. Welcome, guys, to the stream. Here we go. And this is Tori Green, Gaurav, and Bill Wang from IO.net. How are we doing, guys?
Doing great. Thanks. Thanks for having us.
No, thank you so much for being here, guys. What about you, Gaurav? You look quite intense, right? So have you been having a bad day or just really focused?
No. We are actually very close to giving another airdrop for the block reward from past 1 month. A lot of work. It's like almost like 1:30 here. So
Oh
maybe
man.
that's why.
No, I
He
can feel
doesn't
the
stop.
pressure. Yeah, well, he's basically doing his job, right? I know. So this upcoming airdrop is going to be huge. I mean, people have been looking forward to it. I mean, they contribute their computing power just for this occasion. So it's got to be big. It's got to be running smoothly, right? And so, Bill, how are we doing?
Doing very well. Thank you for asking. And then we just got off some calls with customers looking for expanded usage.
Promising.
Yeah,
My man's
promising
having like
customers.
my man's having like 8 monitors right now. One is running all the way over here, dude. So again, thank you so much for being here with the community. I will leave time for you to talk about io.net in a little bit, but for now I just want to get everybody on to say a little bit about themselves, and then we'll get on with the introduction. So again, I will remove you from the space and we'll go ahead with AI Tech from Niraj. So here we go. Hey Niraj, can you hear me?
Yeah, Daily, what's up?
Hey, well, I mean, everything is up. Well, actually, not really up. Everything is everything is written down. My portfolio is red right now. It's effed up. But like,
It's part of the
the
crypto world. It's part of the crypto world.
yeah, it's part of crypto world. And again, my whole thesis is like when everything is down, when nobody is really talking about crypto, like you can really see the sentiment, right? On Twitter, on X, on different Telegram communities, they are really quiet. We don't see as many chats as before. So this is like a really good time for us to be looking into some coins to buy. And AI Tech might look like that coin very promising because you don't only have like DePIN, you also have like launchpad and stuff like that, which has been performing really great. And you and I, we're actually long-term partners. So again, thank you for taking your time to be here, Neeraj. I hope everything is fine
Pleasure.
over there
My
with high
pleasure.
tech.
Everything's fine over here. So we are currently in the middle of the launch of our marketplaces. So, the announcement will be coming soon. So, a bit hectic in that sense. But otherwise, everything going well.
Okay. I hope that is going well. I mean, you have like a lot of partnerships that you recently announced on X, which is shown of a great sign, which is a true testimony to how great your product is. And so I can't wait to learn more about all of that. So again, thank you so much, Nirai, and I'll go ahead and invite Script Network Akeem to the call. So here we go. By the way, guys, I see a few questions from user, which is, can we send questions now for any projects of these four? Yes. So not right now, not right now. Please wait until the second part, the community questions. We're going to have to move forward with the host question, about 7 questions, and then you can send your questions in the Binance chat, right? Just have your Telegram username, ask great questions about any of the projects in the space, and hopefully your questions will get selected. But yeah, we have $100 in rewards for, well, actually $50 in rewards for the 5 best questions. The $50 we spend for, like, lucky boxes, whatever, and then the remaining $100 will be spent for giveaways and stuff like that. So here we go. Akeem from Script Network, welcome, sir. How we doing?
Daily, how you doing? You okay?
Yeah, well, I'm very good. I'm very energetic. A bit shaking before the stream because like we have a lot of great projects here in this space. But yeah, how has things been going there at Script Network? Last time we talked, you were preparing for the IDO, I believe, the launches of your token. So that
Wow.
how has things been going?
Yeah. It feels like 5 years ago, but it was just just early in
Yeah.
the year. But yeah, it was great. We've been building so much over the last 9 to 10 months. We've ultimately now got to a point where we're just about to roll out our node cell. We're about to go to mainnet. We've been in testnet for quite some time now. Our devs have been working so hard to essentially bring, the best in class products for entertainment. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that today. But yeah, we're super excited about what we're building. And yeah, now it's all coming to fruition in Q4. So can't wait.
I can't wait for that as well. We've been talking about it too. You're building a broadcasting network, so people, when they purchase your nodes, they can contribute again their computing power to your network, and then you give the power to broadcasting people, show TV shows and all that for the entertainment, right? And we'll dive deep into that. So again, thank you so much, Akeem, for taking your time to be here. And then the final speaker and final guest we have here in the space is Alex from Sentinel. So welcome, Alex. You are muted, by the way. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
good morning. Now it's fine. So yeah, my name is Alex, as you said, and I'm presenting Sentinel blockchain. We are basically the world's first cross-application blockchain for decentralized VPN services, and we've been there for quite a while. We started as an Ethereum project back in 2018, and today we are independent blockchain built on top of Cosmos SDK. Our main idea is to provide users with the possibility to offer their devices as gateways to the internet for people who are from other locations, so they can access internet freely without like any sort of geographical or any other restrictions. And for 2024, we focused more on combining all of our experience building a new product, which is the AI data layer. I will be gladly sharing more details about it later today during that stream. And yeah.
Okay, great. Sentinel, it's definitely a bit technical compared to other DePIN projects that we are all know and love. So providing a decentralized VPN, okay, to the community. Okay, I would love to know more about what it is in details. But here we go. Let me go ahead with the first question, I guess, without further ado. So let me welcome back all of the guest speakers here in the space. Guys, we do have a lot of people here, so the way that we are going to do this is I'm going to ask questions and then we're going to answer in order. Again, IO.net is going to answer first, and then AI Tech, Script Network, Sentinel. Let's give things in order. I think that'll be much better to follow. Okay, so the first question that I have for you is what's been going on with your projects ever since 2024 at the start? We experienced a mini bull run, as a lot of people would say, a lot of volume, but now the market is dying down a little bit. So what are you focusing on and some of the notable highlights? So let's get started with IO.net.
Sure. 2024 has been it's been a great year for us. We've made a lot of progress. We developed the world's first platform capable of creating decentralized compute clusters. We've done over 2 million on-chain transactions. We built a global network of thousands of GPUs in 138 countries. We've established a lot of long-term relationships and strategic partners with companies like Leonardo, Kriya, Public AI, Nessa, Flock, Ritual, Filecoin, Render, and Wandera. We raised 40 million bucks from a great slate of investors, and we launched a token on Binance. So big year. Sort of wrapping up the year and looking forward. It's really about building for the long term. Cloud computing is a $2.5 trillion market. I believe that this will be significantly disrupted by a decentralized network. And I think if IONET executes well, we can have the potential to gain a significant share of that. The way we do that is literally just building a business. It's building a business that can compete with AWS, GCP, Azure, that's driving revenue, that's strengthening the platform, that's involving the community, that's hiring the best people, basically just blocking and tackling. I think if we can do that, it's a very bright future, not only for us, but for most DePINs.
Okay, great answer. Thank you so much for that updates. Yeah, I guess we all know IO.net since, well, me personally, I know IO.net through that, Binance launch pool that you guys have. What an amazing achievement. And so do you want to talk or touch on, how that, what did that look like for IO.net? Like, how did you manage to, close a deal like that? And what has that affected IO.net in general?
You mean, how do we get on launch pool?
Yeah, on the Binance launch pool, the biggest exchange right now in the world. I guess the dream of most of the projects here in the space. So
we applied. I mean, like, I don't know if there was any secret sauce. Yeah, we just applied. There was no there was nothing magical, I don't think. I just think that they sort of saw the potential, the same potential that we see, that this is just like a huge opportunity. And I know, like, we can talk a bit more in the future about why I think AI DePINs are such a great deal. But yeah, we just sort of went in, met some people, went through the standardized process, and yeah, got on there. And it has been great for us. I mean, Binance is just a phenomenal partner, and we're so happy to be a part of the Binance community.
fantastic. Okay. Right. I know that there's not a lot to say. I mean, if any of you guys want your project to be launched on Binance, just go ahead and sign up. They have a form, right? So, but again, depending on how great your project is, you might get it or not. But obviously, IO.net is one of the greatest projects to be listed, and so congratulations on that achievement.
Well,
And lots of things to be discussed here. But moving on to AI tech, and so. Niraj, do you want to talk about what's been going on with AI tech since 2024? You said you're launching your AI marketplace. What else is there in the caliber?
Yes. So, in the beginning of March, I guess we had announced, the launch of our AI marketplace and the GPU marketplace along with our HPC data center. So the works on the two marketplaces were done by the end of June, but then the market was down. So we decided to, we took a, DAO governance vote, and the community decided to leave it to us to choose when to launch. So we moved it by a bit. So it's going to happen soon. And like I said, announcements are coming up. So in the next 1 quarter, we expect our AI and GPU marketplaces to be up. As in, I'm just overstretching it a bit by saying a quarter. And with regards to the development process, we have been focusing mainly on making the platforms appealing to both the retail and B2B segments.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you
And
so much.
regarding partnerships, as you already said, all the partnership announcements have come up, on our Twitter channel, and we'll be seeing the effects of them soon.
Okay. Yeah. I think you just disconnected a little bit, so I thought you was done with your answer. But yeah. So about that, the GPU and also AI marketplace, I see a lot of people have been, again, partnering up with you and pre-registering on your platform. And I also know that AI Tech has an 8,000 square feet, I believe, data center, right? So do you want to talk briefly about that? How it has been in development? You also updated with the community a lot with the construction and everything.
So the infrastructure is up. The electrical connections, that's what's currently being worked on. The electric connections as well as the networking. Now, once that's up, it's all about just plugging in the stacks and starting to offer them on our marketplace.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so about Akim, for in terms of script network, you are preparing for the node sale. Okay, do you want to touch on that a little bit? How do we participate? What has been the marketing plan leading up to the node sale?
Sure, I'll just give a little bit more context for anyone who maybe isn't familiar with Script Network. So we've been building for about 2 years now. We've ultimately focused on building a video infrastructure for the future to decentralize and democratize television. But actually, what we've been doing alongside building is also building a sustainable business. So, something that's really important to us is to have a business that essentially can work on chain and also operate off chain in terms of being sustainable from that perspective. So over the course of, I would say, the last 9-10 months of being in beta, our DAP, which is our leading DAP, which is Script TV, has now just got under 600,000 users, 43,000 daily active users, and we do somewhere in the region of 2 to 3 million minutes watched per week on the platform. So that makes it, based on that radar and some of these other analysis tools, the leading entertainment DAP in Web3. And whilst we've been building that out and ultimately making that essentially a global platform before improving the channels, which is obviously something that we're doing, as well as improving the back end side of the TV network that's been growing, we've been focusing really heavily on, prior to mainnet, building out a distribution channel. So that includes something called CTV, which is connected television. So going live on Samsung devices, LG devices, Hisense, to ensure that we're actually in over 400 million homes worldwide. So that's something that was really, really important to us to nail on before we actually hit mainnet. And once we get to that point, which I was mentioning before, which is Q4, and us finally rolling this out. And obviously just prior to that, prior to mainnet, we are of course going live with a node cell, which will actually be continuous post mainnet and be slightly different to probably what most people have seen in the space over the last couple of years in terms of the price points as well as the amount available. So it's much more scarce than probably what many people are used to, and the price point is much lower as well from that perspective. But our focus is really global coverage and ultimately building an infrastructure that can serve our Web 2 partners as well as Web 3. Because at the moment we have studios, we have content partners, producers that want to use our chain and are using our chain. We have a couple that have been onboarded, as well as traditional, you could say, traditional Web 3 partners that are ultimately using us for distribution services. They're using us for advertising because we have an ingested live advertising network, as well as, of course, for storage as well. So that's kind of like our plan and what we've been building for the last 9-10 months, and ultimately for the next 2 to 3 months, what we're building out across our team onto Q4 and into 2025.
Great updates. Thank you so much, Akim, for that. Okay, so about in terms of Sentinet, right, Alex? Right now, again, I said it that the project might be a little bit too technical for the people. I mean, when we're dealing VPN, and so do you want to maybe elaborate on exactly what Sentinel is aiming to solve, what it is, and yeah, what has been going on?
Yeah, sure. So basically, there's a problem that we were trying to solve from the very beginning of the Sentinel. There is certain regions in the world that has geographical restrictions, and people from these regions, they cannot access internet freely. They are not able to communicate freely, access free media, and basically enjoy the free web as we normally do. So our main goal was to establish a unique tool that will be providing people with the possibility of accessing internet through the some other device in a distant point in the world, which will be acting as a gateway, basically. So there is a bunch of centralized VPN services out there already available, such as NordVPN, ExpressVPN. We don't need to name them; we all are well aware of them. But the issue there is is that you have to trust them, right? You have to trust them, your traffic, your data, and that's basically everything you have. And you're just taking them their word and believe it. And as we see, there's not so much of VPN providers are actually being fair with users in terms of privacy policy. So we decided to build the first decentralized VPN, which will be built in such a way that users will not have to trust our word. They will be able to check themselves that we are not collecting any data, and we're providing full transparency in terms of users' connections. And for now, we have like multiple thousands of servers worldwide. All of them are operated by the Sentinel community. We have a really huge community, over 10,000 servers at the moment are running worldwide. And there is several thousand users using Sentinel daily. So we, as we have this wide network of nodes, let's say like that, we decided that we can expand our experience, expand our product, and make it useful for something else, right? So as we see that AI topic is emerging in 2024, OpenAI is big, and there's more and more startups rising on the AI topic. And the main problem for the AI is data mining. Data mining is essential for building a really strong artificial intelligence, which will be capable of providing unbiased information, unbiased responses. And we just thought that, wow, we have so much of nodes available on Sentinel network, which we can use as a gateway for data mining, right? To provide people who are building AIs with the endpoints to access information from there and here and collect them to train their AI models. So that's what our new product is all about. It's called Sentinel AI Data Layer. We're basically enabling AI developers to develop mechanisms for data mining without actually spending a fortune on it, giving them all the infrastructure that we already have, and it's decentralized, which is basically guaranteeing them that the data collection and data mining will be unbiased, because this network is not controlled by one person, but rather by community, right? So that's what we're working on in 2024. And there is a number of other products that we already have running, and we just support them, making them better and better. We have a range of VPN applications for all different platforms, Linux, macOS, Windows, iOS, Android. And frankly, we are the first decentralized VPN service which is capable of supporting multiple applications. People here probably heard about certain solutions like Orchid, or there's some Mysterium network and others. These decentralized VPN solutions are basically providing functionality on the one application which are built by themselves. While we do not build application ourselves, we provide the tools for others to enable the VPN functionality in their apps. So that's our idea, and we see that people are using the VPN more and more. Especially recently, we saw that, for example, in Russia, where I came from initially, they have banned YouTube just recently, and we see that number of people using DVPN here is emerging, and just the Telegram bot we launched last week for DVPN purposes got just in a week or so, got 18,000 users without any advertisement, just by the mouth of word, right? And situation is pretty much the same in other regions. So yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, Thank you so much for that. Moving on to the second question, and I think that this is very crucial for this AMA as well. At the end of the day, we're here to talk about DePIN and how it can basically disrupt the traditional cloud services that we see. Lots of problems in that, but again, I'm going to leave this to the guest speakers. So my second question is, how significant is DePIN to the future of AI and other industries compared to cloud services, and why did you decide that you want to venture into this no man's land? So let's start with io.net. Maybe Gaurav, Bill, or Tori?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I think that DPINs are absolutely crucial for AI. To sort of understand why, it's helpful to really understand that the rise of AI has exponentially increased the demand for computing power. Requirements for machine and deep learning are basically doubling every 3.4 months. Model training costs are increasing by 3,100% per year, and many of the latest LLMs, like Meta's Llama 4, are expected to require 10 times more processing power than their predecessors. I think that's why a lot of people say that compute is the new oil. The core problem is that today's cloud infrastructure, it's just simply isn't designed to handle the surge in demand. Incumbents like AWS, Azure, and GCP face inherent structural limitations in their ability to scale. And there's multiple reasons for this. There's global supply chain constraints, there's logistical challenges like building new data centers, and there's substantial CapEx requirements. And this really creates a lot of problems. It leads to significant delays, it leads to fewer options and higher costs for consumers. And ultimately, I think this really stifles innovation. Decentralized networks, on the other hand, represent a bold new paradigm. I mean, what they're doing is they're operating like an Airbnb for compute. They are aggregating GPUs from unutilized sources across the globe into a single platform. And this brings a ton of benefits to both the market and consumers. The first is access to massive computing power. Pooling global compute resources into a single platform allows users to access nearly unlimited computing power at the click of a button. That's something that big cloud can't provide. It provides scalability. Decentralized networks can scale much more easily because they're harnessing computing power from multiple numerous distributed nodes. We found that it actually, in many cases, offers superior performance. It's interesting because one thing we do a lot of at IONET is inferencing, which is like 80 to 90% of the machine learning market. And we found that decentralized networks almost act as like a de facto CDN, and that can actually reduce latency. Fourth, obviously, very important, and we heard Sentinel talk about this, is censorship resistance. There's no central authority controlling the flow of information in a DPIN, and so much less vulnerable to censorship. And then finally, and probably most importantly for the consumer, is the cost efficiency. One of the reasons we got into this is, I've come across as both as a VC and actually as a COO of an AI startup, there are seed to Series A companies. So seed to Series A, very small companies that are spending almost $1 million a month on GPU computing power. I think some of these guys spend like 70 to 80% of their VC funding on this. And decentralized networks like IONET can just greatly reduce costs. I mean, we can offer costs that are like 60, 70, 80% cheaper than the cloud. And that's a huge draw. And so the interesting thing is like, because of the structure of this market, like decentralized networks aren't just a better, faster, cheaper solution. I actually think they're probably the only effective way to meet the colossal computing needs that are going to come from innovations like AI.
I see. That's a really interesting point. And so, do you want to maybe touch on some of the products that you offer, right, to the users at this moment, at this instant, that can actually solve or do things that you just mentioned in terms of the problems like cost, and also censorship and latency?
Bill, you want to take that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So right now we are leveraging open source technology called Ray, building out a cluster of GPUs from various sources. Like you can select a deep list of the GPU types and locations that you want, right, by going to our Explorer and to select. And then you can choose how you want to launch it as a cluster. So our tech in the backend will be forming all of them into on a mesh network so that they can communicate and collaborate with each other across the world, across the public internet, to allow spare GPUs from various sources data centers be aggregated into one single cluster and joined with a head node to be leveraged, right? So there will be one fixed point for your system to interact with. That's our head node, and our head node will be using the framework called Array to distribute all the tasks and the workloads down to other joined worker nodes in such a way that we can allow a flexible way of people to join their own compute capacity to centrally, well, not centrally, but to a one uniform cluster. So that again, using the same protocol layer and the same programming interface that is used by some of the largest tech company out there to benefit the AI community. That is something that we are working on and constantly improving on, which we also at the same time listening to our community and our customers, looking at the different cloud requests that are coming in, say they want certain locations, certain hardware, certain types that are not necessarily compatible with our platform, but we're looking for help them find it when we know where our capacity is. But we're at the same and also learning their use case and demands, and gradually as a feedback mechanism to drive our product roadmap, potentially introducing Kubernetes or Slurm-based scheduling in decentralized ways.
Okay, and I would love to hear Gaurav from this as well. So, with all those products, where does the IO token, position, and how is that going to be benefiting maybe not only for the users but for the investors as well of the IO token?
So basically, going forward, IO token will be the oil of the whole ecosystem. You want to buy a cluster, you want to rent a cluster, you want to put the money in, take the money out. Everything in the ecosystem would be run by the IO coin. Period. Right. The second thing which we are also doing is right now from community, there's a big ask because we just now launched staking. Is how are we going to do the burn? So the earnings which we will be having, right, and to benefit the people, even the earnings which we do as the ecosystem, part of those earnings we are planning to actually buy the IO coins and burn the part of that. So everything which we do, right, from renting the GPUs, taking the money from suppliers, in the whole ecosystem, all the money transaction going forward will be in form of IO coins, and anything which we earn, a part of that going forward, we're looking forward to using that money to burn so that the overall value of the token overall goes higher also in terms of tokenomics. Tori can give more details about tokenomics overall, but from tech perspective, right now, historically around 2 months back, we were using USDC to be brought in, and then you contain USDC. Going forward, slowly and steadily, we have totally migrated away from USDC to the IO coin ecosystem overall.
Right, right. That'll be perfect too. There are certainly lots of benefits if you were to choose the IO token, instead of other stable coins, for example. And I think that again, not financial advice. Another thing that we discuss here can be taken as financial advice. Do your own research, but please take a look at IO. Okay, so thank you very much for that. Okay, about for AI tech, right? So what do you think about DePIN, and what kind of products and services are you providing that's solving the existing problems with the traditional cloud services? Niraj?
Yeah. So, as you had mentioned, as I'd mentioned previously, we are coming up with three key solutions. So, we began in 2017 as a crypto mining company, and what happened was during the same, we developed an IP that reduced the power consumption of GPUs by like 30 to 40%. So we thought, okay, AI is booming, okay, and there's a large demand for computational power. So why not use this to actually offer economic, computational power to the users? That was the original thinking behind the company, and that's why we started with the HPC data center. And then we moved on to think, okay, we are building an HPC data center, so why not expand our reach forward to the rest of the world? And that's when we came up with the GPU marketplace, which is almost done developing. And over here we intend to partner with other web3 companies, like Ionet and Ether of the sorts, and we will basically be able to provide power not just in Europe, which is our primary area of focus, but in other parts of the world to our customers. And then we thought, okay, now we have the supply side. Now, what about the demand side? And that's when, we thought, okay, why not create a developer friendly and a user friendly platform for developers to publish their solutions and users to buy them through simple transactions. And that's how the AI marketplace came into formulation. So these are our three key offerings, and as I mentioned, the problems that we are trying to solve were the ones I mentioned.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Nirai. And okay, so for Script Network, right? Do you want to mention the products that you have right now people can use? I know that you in testnet and everything, but yeah, just give us a walkthrough.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And I'll just carry on from what Tori mentioned, which was great points about the issues with Web 2, ultimately, centralization. So with us, we have a grand old problem in a dinosaur-like industry, which is film and television. That's a background across a lot of our team. And essentially, the problem is the fact that at scale, it simply just doesn't work in terms of not just transcoding and delivery, but also storage alongside the streaming opportunities long term as well. So from our perspective, we have built out an enterprise package, which ultimately serves studios, they serve filmmakers. So if you want to house a particular film or 500 hours of content that you have in your library, which is largely the problem, which I'll come back to in a second, of a lot of these studios or filmmakers or producers or distributors. You can, of course, house that on Script Network and within our ecosystem. But alongside that, we actually have the opportunity for people to actually have their own channel, actually embed their own TV player within their own platform or within a standalone website or within our own website, which means they can have their own channel on an aggregated network of anything from 50 to 300 million people, soon to be 400 million people plus, on many different devices across the world. So that's our focus, really, to fix the distribution issue within the film and content business. But alongside that, the storage, transcoding, and delivery of video as well at scale. So alongside that, we're also focused on, of course, a consumer product, which is the reason for Script TV. Script TV was built out conceptually originally, and we got 25,000 users, I think, within 3 days of launching the conceptual product. And from there, it's now kicked on, as mentioned before, over 500,000 users, and now being, a leading entertainment or the leading entertainment platform in Web3. So in short, to summarize, we have a bunch of different products. You can find that on our website, but largely Script TV is our main DAP, and that is ultimately a watch to earn live TV platform that's completely and 100% free and allows users to, depending on their region, to watch news, live sports, documentaries, films, and we're adding new channels and new license deals week on week and month on month as it goes. Alongside that, we also have an enterprise product where we can, of course, offer storage, storage solutions alongside transcoding and delivery solutions for companies. But actually, our fast-growing product, which now has 5 different clients in Web 2 and Web 3, is actually the exciting fact that we can host a TV player on that respective site. We have some gaming partners, for example, that want 24/7 live television of their favorite streamers embedded onto their player, or actually a live feed of their actual game that's being shown on their website at 24/7. And we can actually ultimately provide all of the infrastructure required, as well as, of course, the product for them as well. So this is something that we're ultimately building out into the 2025 and 2026 roadmap. But largely, Script TV is keeping us busy. And of course, our layer 1 is going live in the next couple of weeks as well.
Thank you very much. Incredible numbers, honestly, incredible numbers. In just a few short months, you managed to achieve quite a lot of users. At one point, you said 600,000. I'm sorry, users and about 30,000 daily active users. That is an insane number. That honestly, even in this bear market, it's incredible to see a lot of people are using Script TV. Show of how your platform is both entertaining and innovating. Thank you very much, Akeem. Okay, about Sentinel, all right, in terms of VPN, your numbers are also quite very impressive as well. About 50,000 monthly active users. And so, do you want to talk about the products that you have, its cost, for example, and how is it, let's say, better than the existing VPN?
Yeah, sure. So basically, yeah, as you said, for numbers, we're really doing great, better than ever before. Just as of now, we have about half a million, sorry, total users, and just as I speak, we have today over almost 4 terabytes of data transmitted through Sentinel network, which is a lot, and yeah, talking of our current products that we have, they have several aspects in which way they are better than traditional centralized VPN services. First of all, let's get it clear that we are offering an SDK for people who are building VPN applications, so they can benefit from decentralization, so they can offer all the servers Sentinel network has to offer, and embed that into their own apps. So of course, given that these people who are building applications for decentralized VPN and using Sentinel, they do not have to spend that much of money for their own infrastructure, right? They don't have to have their own VPN servers. They don't have to manage them all. They don't have to support all of that infrastructure. All they have to do, or they need to do, is just to access Sentinel blockchain and get access to the subscription plan that we have on chain, and that will instantly provide them with an access to all the DVPN nodes that we have on the network. So talking of the costs for the VPN service itself, it can be reduced by 99% comparing to the classic centralized VPN servers, as you don't have to maintain infrastructure mainly, as I said. Also, we solved the issue of complicated billing. It's all done on chain as well. So whether you would like to bill your users per bandwidth amount of data they consume, or you prefer time-based billing, all of that sort of stuff is supported on chain directly, so you can have it on the record on chain how much data each of the wallets have, each of the users have consumed, and how many days of the VPN subscription they have left. It's all on chain available there. So talking of the SDK itself, we already collaborating with a number of companies worldwide who are building their own applications, and we provide them with the SDK. Some of these applications are already live in App Store and Google Play, and we have seen tremendous success there. For example, one of the most famous apps built on top of Sentinel DVPN is Independent DVPN, which started as a VPN designed for Turkish market and then expanded worldwide. Now we see that they have tens of thousands downloads just on Google Play, and way more on other sources. So like direct downloads via APK file, App Store, and more and more. Talking of AI and how we restructure Sentinel to become a DePIN provider for AI services as well, I would like to highlight several key points here. So as we previously established, the key and most important part for AI is it's being unbiased and censorship resistant, which is really being a problem for past years, right? So Sentinel provides a unique toolkit here, which enables AI developers to have unbiased data mining, basically. Since we have the largest number of servers among all VPN services in the whole world, basically, we are presenting an ideal platform for data collection for training, AI model training purposes. So as we see that other other AI projects emerge, they are encountering this issues of trust in terms of being biased, right? Because if we take a look at ChatGPT or Grok, which is AI built by Elon Musk team, right? We all have certain doubts regarding whether the answers this AI provides are accurate and whether they are biased towards certain topics that people who are building this AI are care about. And our main goal is there to provide not only developers but also users of the certain AI projects with the guarantees that the data that AI was training on is collected in a very very careful way, that it wasn't manipulated by anybody, and it wasn't something that is being used to manipulate media, for example, or people's opinion globally. Because as we see, AI is being a part of more and more areas of our life, right? It's now basically everywhere, and it is really crucial for whole humankind, basically, to make sure that all the things that AI does in every aspect of our life is not impacting us for benefit of certain group of people. It should be focused on the person who are using AI at the first, not on the creator. And that's basically what we doing with the focus AI data layer. And as for VPN itself, we expanding our network of the applications available. And just for a beginning of this year, we already have 4 applications released, and there is a 12 coming later this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just about to ask you guys about partnerships as well. So I think it's a good segue into that. And so the market has been really blooming. Well, I mean it's quite out right now. Everything is down. Following the Bitcoin and all of this situation. And so in terms of like keeping your community engaged in terms of marketing towards the end of 2024, what are your immediate plans? And also, do you want to touch on your partnerships with major companies? Because I personally believe that the individual users like demands is one thing, but if you can get those businesses and corporations into your platform and using your platform for a long term, I think that will create a good revenue. But yeah, so I just want to learn more about your partnerships and also marketing plans. So let's start again with io.net.
Yeah, I will answer the questions. So right now we have recently made a PR announcement with one of our long-term partner called their name is Leonardo.ai. Right, they have been with us since I joined, and even earlier than when I joined. So it's been a long time partners. We've worked with them. We've learned how they are developing their inferencing clusters. Right, they're different. Demands for different type of compute, right? We started with A140 gig with Lambda Labs pricing conversation. Now we talk about A140 gig in different locations. Well, then we settled on with L40S after we benchmarked the performance and the use cases, right? Through that process, we learned what GPU makes sense for what type of workload, what are our customers' general preference for what type of compute in what kind of capacity and location. Right, that level of knowledge has been greatly in helping us driving our next stage of roadmap to see how we're going to develop the set of products to better suit their needs. Right, we're also working with Wonder AI in the past, right, helping them train their large audio generation models. It's been a blast to learn how data, right, there are 500 terabytes to 1 petabyte scale. It's critical for this training machines training to have fast access to. Right now, how we're going to look at how we will be incorporating such learning into our long-term roadmap also. Right, you will see more co-marketing showcasing us with our partners, with our different compute consumption partners. to see how IONET can power their use case and drive their innovation forward.
That's lovely. And you also been in lots of talks, spaces, conferences, also offline event as well. And because IO.net is really big in the Solana ecosystem, right? And I think Solana is right now is a very big competitor compared to Binance Smart Chain. So do you want to touch on, how great the community in Solana is, how supportive of them to IO.net, and what kind of impact you think that you have made over there at Solana?
I can take that. I mean, Solana's been a phenomenal partner for us. Number one, they're a great chain. I mean, quite frankly, our service with the number of transactions that we do, because look at like one of our apps, BC8.ai, right? Every time you go on BC8.ai and bring up a picture, it's 5 different transactions, right? You have to pay the model creator, you have to pay the DApp creator, you have to pay the compute fee, you have to give a bit of that to IONET. And like think how much people use Chat GPT, right? So you're just talking about like millions upon millions of transactions. And these, you may pay like 1/1000th of a cent to the model creator, 1/1000th of a cent to the compute provider, and so on and so forth. This, quite frankly, would not be possible on a lot of blockchains, right? You need a hyper-fast, hyper-scalable blockchain, and Solana has been great for that. The other thing is the Solana community has just been great to us. And not only that, but like the partnerships team of Solana, they made lots of introductions from us. As I mentioned, the community's been very supportive. Just in general, every time we work with them, they're always looking out for us. So very, very happy that we're part of that team.
Fantastic. Right now, I don't want to say, but IO.net has been incredible, and I think I see someone in the chat saying, I just made 20% of my long IO positions. Congratulations, man! But remember to take your profits, all right? But yeah, right now IO.net is sitting at $1.3 billion in FTV, a huge milestone. And yeah, looking forward to see what kind of plans you have, at the end of 2024 to for you to reach that all-time high again. Because I think we're here in the chat would love to see that happen. All right, moving on to the AI tech and also Script Network and Sentinel. What are your marketing plans heading towards 2024? Also, who are some of your biggest partners? Niraj?
Yeah, hi. See, so we have been focusing on partners on 3 different fronts. One is, the supplier side. 2 is basically ecosystem partnerships, and 3 is the customer side partnerships. So in terms of the supplier partnerships, obviously NVIDIA is our biggest partner. We are Inception program partners with NVIDIA. And we also have another partnership coming up, which I am not at the liberty to disclose because that's about to be a major announcement soon. And that's the major these are the major supplier side partnerships. From the ecosystem partnership, we are trying to, what do you say, replicate the features of the existing main players in the cloud ecosystem, but from the decentralized side. By that I mean we are looking at you can say decentralized storage, decentralized data providers, and we are also looking at AI specific service providers. Like there are very interesting projects like Solder AI, who has basically created a decentralized network for carrying out RAG activities, which is one of the most crucial pillars of generative AI. Now, from the supplier side, as much as I would like to mention, the partnerships are out there, on our Twitter space, but I don't think I can, I'm not allowed to say which the partners are. So if you can take a look at a Twitter page, that would be the best. That's what I have to say to the community.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, so Script Network, Akeem, what's your marketing plans and your major partners?
Yeah, so I think from a Web3 standpoint, you probably, we're announcing different partnerships every week, but I would say our most significant partner that we've recently brought on is Unruly, which is now just been bought out by Nexon. So they're a global advertising company, one of the largest in the world. And one of the things that we're able to do, which probably has been, it has certainly taken a long time for us to achieve, and I believe we're one of, if not the only company that can do that at the moment, is in-stream and embedded video advertising. There's a ton of different display options if you're a Web 2 company or Web 3 company and want to promote your project or your NFT or your company. But from a video perspective, there's very few, if not any. So we have the ability from our cloud playout system and our protocol alongside our publishers and our partners that we're able to actually deliver ads not only from Web 2 or Web 3 partners. You know, if someone wanted to advertise, let's say today or tomorrow, we're able to cut that red tape, go through the process and not get takedowns like you would if you was on Facebook or Google. So we're building out an advertising protocol alongside that partner, which is super, super exciting. But alongside that, we're actually able to deliver tier 1 advertising spots and slots within our actual content for world-class brands. So that includes McDonald's, Aldi, UNICEF, Gran Pandano Cheese. And if you're watching Script TV, which is obviously our leading app, you can see if you're watching for more than 30 or 40 minutes, you'll see that advertising clips or advertisements from world-class brands is actually taking place. So we're super excited to build that, because what that specifically allows us to do is actually earn off-chain revenue as well, which is something that, as mentioned at the beginning, it was super, super important to us to build that off-chain revenue to be able to put back into our Web3 business, and of course, do things like buyback burns, give rewards to our loyal users, alongside, of course, our world-class partners as well. So that's probably our most significant partner. And I'll just be super quick on our plans. You know, pretty straightforward, really. It's to focus on mainnet. You know, we're privileged and fortunate to have not only 10 plus projects that are already using our chain, or whether now or about to when we go to mainnet, alongside obviously a super dApp that we have within our own company, which of course would already have that sort of traffic and use and effect from day one. But alongside that, we're fortunate enough from our plans to also be able to roll out a node sale as well alongside our partners, and that's what we'll be doing in the next 3 to 4 weeks, going live in October. So that's pretty much our plans and our focus for the next 3 to 4 months.
Thank you very much. Sentinel, Alex, what's your plans heading towards the end of 2024, marketing, product development, and who are your major partners? Again, you are muted.
Yep, sorry. So basically, our main goals till the end of the 2024 is to complete the development of the AI data platform that we're currently working on. It's already in beta, and we have some of the customers onboarded in the close testing process, basically. And apart from that, we working closely with certain developers, certain organizations, which are building their own basic like mass market solutions, which they would like to embed DVPN functionality into. We already had a great partnership in terms of suppliers partnership, right? And the technological partnership, we can say it like that. We have a Cosmos, which been really great to us and really helpful. We used Tendermint and Cosmos SDK to build our whole new chain when we switched from Ethereum network. And talking of partners in terms of integrating our technology, we had Decenter, which is a browser built for Web 3.0, which had Sentinel integrated. And now we are in negotiations with 2 other browsers with the total audience over 1 million users. I cannot name them as of now because negotiations are still ongoing. But yeah, we in the process of doing so. Also, we had conversations with several cybersecurity vendors, which are globally known, and also can name them for just yet. But they are looking forward to integrate Sentinel as well into their product. They seem to be very interested. And also, we just closed yesterday. We just closed a deal with one major global media, mostly for Russian-speaking audience, which decided to integrate the VPN solution into their own applications to make sure that their media is accessible worldwide, no matter whether there are any geographical restrictions on their connection, on the user's connection or not. So that's what we have in plans and currently working on. Apart from that, we also working on our very own applications being released on like Sentinel branded. I mean, applications being released to App Store, and we already have it on Google Play Live, and that should happen just in following few days.
Great. Thank you very much, guys, for answering all my questions perfectly. I guess it's time we should move on to the next part, which is the community questions. Again, guys, in this part, you get to ask your questions about any of the projects in here. If you're interested, you can ask questions about IO.net, AI Tech Sentinel, or even Script Network. You can ask your questions on two places. First, on Twitter, under the AMA announcement post, which is pinned on our BSC Daily X account. Links in the chat, or the second venue is directly under the chat, the chat box, right, the comment box under the live stream. The way that your questions can be selected is tag your Telegram username together with the questions as well. Remember, there is a 200-word limit, right? So make it short, make it concise and focus on the project and on the topic that you'd like to ask. Okay. Together with that, we have a $50 quiz box that I'm about to send right here. It's a simple math question, right? If you answer correctly, you get a share of that $50. So very exciting times, by the way. And so the first question that I see from the people right now asking is this guy right here. The first question is, IO.net is on Binance. What is your next major target from Red Pev 3? Okay, do you want to answer this question?
Sorry, what was the next major target for what?
I think that's it. That's the question. There is a 200 word limit. So, but yeah, I guess what is your next major target after getting listed on Binance? Because people assume that that's like the biggest thing that people a token can be or can get. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's just the first step, right? We're here to build a business. This is a $2.5 trillion market. Decentralized compute networks represent less than 1%. So, whoever executes here is can really gain significant share of a giant market, and that's what we're focused on, right? We're focused on building a business that can compete with the legacy cloud providers, and that's I think probably one of our biggest goals is driving GMV and revenue growth. We've got a lot of stuff on the horizon for that. We've signed 56 partnerships to date, and I think we're doing like 3,000 to 5,000 a day in GMV. But the cool thing is a lot of these partners are now moving beyond the initial deployments, and they're sort of in a trial phase, and now they've expressed a desire to scale. And so watch our Explorer, but I think you're going to see our GMV grow quite dramatically in the coming weeks and months. On that note, we're also continuing to build our long-term pipeline. Right now, we're focusing on growth stage AI ML startups. But I think, once we sort of get through our beachhead market, there's a lot of other places we can look at. We can look at enterprise AI divisions, large tech companies, academic and research institutions, government bodies, even the LLMs themselves. Obviously, we're going to continue to expand our GPU and enterprise-grade GPU supply. We're going to bundle compute with storage. And we're also looking into establishing channel partnerships with companies like Predibase, Weights and Bias, things like that. So, I think the big thing is grow as a business, and revenue is a big part of that, but also tech. And I think Gaurav can probably speak to this, but we have a lot of cool ideas for things to build technically. And that includes in the short term, expanding services to Kubernetes, Nomad, Slurm. But in the long term, we're also looking at building a model marketplace and potentially a data marketplace as well. So it's really just, it's growth, listing was just the first step.
Thank you so much, Tori, for explaining that question. Thank you very much, Red Pep 3, for that as well. We're just getting started, so stay tuned for more. The next question is from Accrete Ethereum. I sent all the questions in the private chat, by the way, in case you guys haven't noticed. But yeah, the question from Accrete Ethereum is, what is the reward wait time for the worker nodes? I think this is targeting again to io.net, but yeah.
I'll let Bill or
What,
Gaurav handle that one.
what's the question? Can you don't mind?
Yes, it's in the private chat. What is the reward wait time for the worker nodes?
So basically, we right now give rewards to people on an hourly basis. So they basically can log into the website and their account, and they can see on an hourly basis how many rewards their hardware has earned. And currently, on a monthly basis, we accumulate all these earnings for their devices and give them form of airdrops, right? We are working on a tech internally where we can actually give these rewards to them. Like they'll keep earning and accumulating on an hourly basis like they will do today, but we will be pushing them even like sooner, not on a monthly basis which we do today, but more on like 3-day basis or a weekly basis.
I
So
hope that
that
answers it.
particular version 2 of the platform is like very soon. I don't want to commit to a date, but very soon gonna be live, right? Right now, basically we wanted to make it live right now, like in a couple of weeks. But as Tori said, that people don't realize that we are still a very new company. And I think that like I joined the company 5 months back, so I can't take a credit for it, but they literally killed it. Like in the first year, they became one of the biggest like supply of GPUs. They literally killed it. And now under the leadership of Tori, now our main KPI and the aim is to actually increase the revenue and the usage. That's what our main focus is, right? And as a part of that, what we did was we kind of repivoted in between so that rather than like focusing on these kind of techs, like we are still giving people their money on a timely basis. I understand it's not on a weekly basis, monthly basis, but they can see what they're earning. But we pivoted a bit of tech to focus more on what consumers are asking. So for instance, earlier we were giving them Ray clusters. Now internally we are working on giving Kubernetes cluster to people, right? And that will open up like a variety of new users who kept on asking us like from past couple of months that they need these hardwares, but they're looking for Kubernetes. So we're working on that part, right? And similarly, there are other solutions which we're working with some of our users, which they were wanting to ask like from like last couple of months. So now we are focusing on that. Hence this like weekly distribution of the rewards have gotten delayed. So, but feedback well noted. We will prioritize this feature, and rather than on a monthly basis, it will make it more sooner for the customers.
Thank you very much for the question. I hope that answers it. Accrete Ethereum. Okay, moving on to the third question from community, and we have three left. This is I picked this on X, by the way, under the announcement post, and this question is quite long to be put on the on the screen, so I can just go ahead and read it out loud. So this is for every projects here in the room, by the way. So we've heard about the potential of DePIN to revolutionize sectors like energy, transportation, and data storage. Can you point to a real world example where a DePIN project has not only promised but delivered significant tangible benefits to everyday users or industries? How do we measure success in DePIN beyond just tech adoption?
I'll take a first step on this. Right. I think that the DePIN, as previously we've speaking our own MA is at this moment still highly experimental. Right. I would not just, but I would say we should not be just looking at DePIN as a way to measure by tech adoptions. Right. The DePIN, the legality, the necessity, and the integration are to be observed for a long-term effect. Right, Bitcoin, I first learned Bitcoin back in 2012. Right, at the time Bitcoin was pennies. Right, at the time nobody really understand what Bitcoin after 12 years later will be going on to an ETF, providing us a globally non-government controlled way of transacting money. Right, and then later Ethereum came up, and many of the effects will be measured in long term. Like technology development comes in circles. We are here to push for technical adoptions. As also said, we're going to push for utilization. We're trying to measure our success to a certain degree with revenue generation capability. As Tori said multiple times, we're here to build a business, right? We're just started 6 months in. So DePIN overall is still highly experimental, but I think with the right market industry, we can have a business.
Thank
That's
you,
a
I
John.
great.
think,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, that's
Go
a
ahead,
great
Mark.
point, Bill. And I think, I think I know what this user is asking. Basically, they're saying that like no DePIN has effectively crossed the chasm. I mean, look, there's a lot of cool DePINs out there, like Helium, Live Peer, like they're doing all kind of stuff, Render. But we have not seen a DePIN like truly disrupt an industry. And I think a lot of that is on the demand side. For instance, if you look at like Helium, great project, but access to wireless is not a hair on fire problem. Render, fantastic project, great partner, and I actually think Render is going to be like huge when the metaverse comes. But there's not a ton of demand for rendering at all times. Filecoin, great project, but again, storage is not a hair on fire problem. These things may become more important in the future, but I think one of the reasons that I joined IONET is that like I do think that access to GPUs is a hair on fire problem. In fact, Elon Musk famously said GPUs are harder to get than drugs, right? And so I think to see that disruption, you sort of have to pair the economics of a DePIN with a real world use case. And to be quite frank, that's one of IONET's goal. Like we want to be one of the first Web3 projects to effectively cross the chasm. One last point on this is I'm showing my age here, but like you see companies like Instacart now that are very successful, but everyone forgets that they were all tried in the first .com boom. There was like Webvan, which failed. Like usually like these sort of early adopters come out years before and fails. And I think that, I think right now may be the time because you're pairing this greater economic model with this sort of like true proven source of demand.
And guys, you're free to chime in to this question as well. I mean, it's a community questions. It's open. Alex, you don't have to raise your hand.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah.
I'd like to share an example of how actually DePIN project in my case Sentinel actually delivers significant difference to everyday users. So we getting feedback from all over the world for people are using our VPN services, and there was a great example from Turkmenistan, which is a very regulated country, I would say, and basically most of the services that we are used to are not available there. Instagram isn't available there, Facebook, Twitter, X, as we call it now, Telegram, and Binance even. They are not able to access it because of government restrictions. And while centralized VPNs, there's dozens of them, right? None of them are able to work and operate in Turkmenistan. So there is groups of users who intentionally installed all available centralized VPN solutions on their own devices to check whether there's any VPN service that is capable of working there. And they failed to do so because there was none. And when we came up with the Sentinel and we shared our experience, our product with the guys who were living in Turkmenistan, and they tried it there, we were very surprised to find out that Sentinel is actually the first VPN service which is capable of working in Turkmenistan and provide people in Turkmenistan with access to free web. I will explain why it's different from centralized VPN services. The thing is that for centralized VPN services, infrastructure is being controlled by a certain entity, right? So the government or any other malicious actor, they can go after a single entity. Okay, we have NordVPN, right? They have their own networks, their own IP ranges. Government can just ban it, right? And that's it, end of story. They can just drop them from the App Store and Google Play. But it's not the case with the decentralized infrastructure, with the DePIN project itself, because there is no single entity to go after. There is no single range of IP addresses you can ban. There is no single app that you can block. And Sentinel, in terms of being a DePIN project, there brings real value comparing to the projects which are same but centralized, just because of decentralization itself. And I think that demonstrates how DePIN projects are bringing benefits comparing to their competitors in the centralized world.
I think there's one part to it also. Like people have to understand the tech a bit more in detail at times because it's easy to get confused. And tech adoption like is the most important thing, and is the first step. So a lot of the DePINs you will hear, they call them the DePIN, but if you really look internally, they're managing their own data centers. And what does it bring? It brings a high operational cost, right? It's easy to claim yourself as a DePIN, but to really be a DePIN, both the consumer side, like who's coming into your platform, who's using it, like, that should be totally open to the world. Secondly, the people who come to you and who are giving you a supply, that should be also like behaving like a DePIN, not managing your own data center, because that brings an extra cost. And how DePIN can make the business succeed, because for any business to succeed, the numbers should work, right? And how it's working in IONET's favor is that today, because we are getting this decentralized supply on a network, our operational cost is negligible. Like we're just managing our own software right now, right? Like we don't rent a space, we don't have an army of people managing our own data centers, like giving electricity. We don't do that, right? We're just managing a software stack which is like very, very cheaply scalable, right? So operational cost is negligible for us, right? When you're real, like a pure DePIN, right? Secondly, your network is like limitless, right? Like when you actually are giving rewards to people like we do, currently we see people are coming from more than 130, 140 countries to us to give us hardware, right? So your coverage is extremely good. Like right now, honestly, when we talk to some of our users who are coming to get GPUs from us, they're not just Web3 products. They're Web2 companies who are looking for GPUs from months in their respective data centers, nearby data centers. They're not getting it. And they're getting it in DePIN because like normal people like you and me who have hardware are giving to our network in a stable way because they're getting money on a regular basis, right? So DePIN is the way forward because it just doesn't reduce your operational costs, your network coverage, but it actually also makes the services more affordable and accessible to the users also. And that will make the business. And for any crypto project to actually win, just not in win one cycle, but multiple cycle will only be the case when they have a business. And we think, at least in the GPU world, a pure decentralized like DePIN network can be the one who can win in terms of business. Like if you play around, like we can DePIN managing our own data center, like you can win for a temporary period, but not for a long run.
I agree. I agree. I think that with this question is cool as well because we might be as well changing the world right now, but the normal users don't see it, right? Because everything is happening in the back end, as you said, Gaurav. Like traditional companies are looking for GPU, they are renting it already, and they are the ones providing services. So we are participating in this, a changing of economy. So I think that that's a very good question. Akim, do you want to add anything in terms of script network? You are muted, by the way.
Just really briefly, I guess I just want to add that I think is a common question, and to be honest with you, I think I've been in crypto for a while. I'm sure a lot of everyone else who's listening and who's on the panel has as well. And I think we got into a cycle of kind of like everyone wanted to build, a faster version of a Chain or a cheaper version of a Chain, and or a Web3 version of a product that doesn't require decentralization or DePIN in this particular instance. And I think there are a few real pure use cases in blockchain technology, and DePIN is one of those. We were fortunate enough to speak at Cannes Film Festival, and when we came off stage, there were 3 studios, probably small to mid-size, that came up to us like they can't believe that there's an option to reduce their costs so much. They can't believe there's a network and a distribution channel that they've not looked at when they've been in business for 20 years. They can't believe that they have an option to actually have a flexible offering for transcoding and delivery instead of using Alibaba or Tencent or AWS. So I think a lot of his education, and alongside that, it's kind of just us speaking out and understanding that this industry is incredibly large. It requires 10 more of us that's on this call today to continue to deliver that message into the Web2 world going into 2025 and beyond. So that's all I'll say. You know, for us, we continue to build out that plan and that idea from an entertainment perspective, and from a video streaming and infrastructure perspective. And, you know, I'm sure the other great companies will do the same.
Very cool. Niraj, I think you're the last man to answer on this question. So, for AI tech, how do you provide? Well, have you been providing, significant tangible benefits to everyday users already?
Not yet, because our marketplaces are not live. So once it's out there, yes, we will need to provide this. Now, regarding the question, how it has disrupted everyday users or industry experience, like Gaurav correctly mentioned, it's still in the early adoption stage. All right, so there is demand out there, and as rightly mentioned, since it's an earning opportunity where people just need to turn their hardware into a DePIN network to earn, demand comes up by itself. So here I believe that's the main disruption that's going to happen. That DePIN is, it looks like, blockchain technology was specifically made to solve this sort of problems.
Thank you very much, Niraj, for that. And with Niraj's answer, we are concluding the final part of this AMA, which is the community questions. I know that we wouldn't be we did not answer 5 questions, but because of the time, we managed to answer 3. Okay, and we will reward $100 to these 3 users, $33 each, specifically. So thank you guys so much for joining. Remember to follow all the projects in here. So as a closing remarks, before we end, any of you want to say any closing thoughts or closing remarks to the community watching this live stream? Anything you want to get out that did not was not able to?
Yeah, I'll say one thing, and I'm going to echo something that Akeem said. DePIN markets have enormous potential, and we're very, very, very early days. Like I think I said earlier, it's less than 1% of the total cloud market. And Akeem hit the nail on the head, right? Like, all too often crypto projects can get in these little tit for tat wars, but like the real enemy is big cloud, right? They're the ones that are going to censor us, they're going to mess with our data. And so like I love it that we're all on here together. We're fighting the same battle. And like it's cliche, but like I fully believe in the WAGMI spirit, right? Like let's all do this together.
Bullish view. Script, AI tech, Sentinel, anything you want to add as a final word?
Yeah, I'll just briefly just say, yeah, I completely echo what Tori was saying. And the market's huge. There's so much to do, and there's so much to fix as well, not just do but fix, because the Web2 industry is, particularly with a lot of the areas that we've been speaking about today, is broken, and it requires solutions, and it requires tech that not just our team, but yeah, some of the great teams on the call and off this call is building over the next couple of years. So yeah, onwards and upwards, and super excited to do it.
Alex, I think you
Yeah,
previously raised your hand.
I just want to thank everyone for being on the same side. Just as Story said, we are all fighting one battle, and we are all on one mission, fighting global censorship and data manipulation. And Web 3.0 is the way to go. I think that all of us can share details how people watching this stream can follow us further. And I'll start, so you can subscribe to us on X and all social media.
Yeah, here we
Here's
go.
our handle. It's Sentinel VPN. So yeah, subscribe, follow us, and try decentralized VPN if you haven't done so yet. And yeah, let us know what you think, guys.
Yeah, actually, all of the links to their X account can be found on the screen right now. So at AI Tech, so it's all listed down here. All right, Nirai, do you have anything else you want to add? Yeah.
Not particularly daily. Again, I would like to thank everyone for participating in this, and hope to meet you all, especially Sentinel, IONET, and Script Network team at Token 2049.
All right. Thank you very much, guys, for this. You guys are really awesome, very insightful AMAs. And again, thank you very much to you, the listeners, the watchers, the viewers, for being here with us, supporting the stream at the start. It was an amazing time that we had together. So it's time for us to end this AMA, but remember to check them out. I mean, things are just getting started. DePIN is so very early. You guys are very early. We are all very early. So keep on supporting all the projects here in the space. They are doing major things that are interrupting the current industry as we know it. And so take care, guys, and I'll see you in future AMAs. Good luck with everything, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Bye bye.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.